Evan Dixon. Evan Dixon, Radio Made Easy. Smart of him to add that on there. Who would you say is a trustworthy voice of reason for real patriot stuff? James opened my eyes and was the voice I trusted. I see lots of cowards, alarmists, and guys that seem like all bark and no bite. Appreciate all you and Amanda do. So I would like to say, give me some examples of those people.
I can kind of help with that.
No.
No? Okay.
I want to hear Evan, what Evan says. I know I could guess 100 of them, right? I trust Bear. I trust Bear Independent. I trust Bear enough that I really believed what Bear was saying, that I went out of my way to go and actually meet Bear. Mm-hmm. And I've met him, and I've been in the same rooms with him for hours. And what you see on the videos is actually what it's Bear. That's who he is, right? And that was James. People would fabricate or weave some idea of what James was. But when I watched James, James was exactly what James was. And when James did the Pack Your Bags video, James said, you know, much later, James is like, I was ready to go and nobody was with me. That's when I realized that there is no hope. America is just a bunch of pussies. So who do you listen to? I don't know, man. I think you have to listen to a lot of people and kind of put together what you, like even Tim Pool, right? Tim Pool reports the news, but you see him throttle back and be a little fucking cunt all the time. And you're like, I know this isn't what you fucking think. I know that you are owned by the man and you are trying to fucking keep your funds and your revenue on, so you're not fucking really saying what you really feel. So with all of that, I mean, I go back to the Kanye West thing. Like, you're really fucking seeing this happen. With everything Kanye West just said, is he fucking wrong, right? Do you disagree with it? He said, Dave Chappelle, they said he's a crackhead, and within a couple of days he was a crackhead, and nobody fucking listened to him, and he never had another Hollywood deal for a decade, and now he's trying to make his comeback. He said, that's what they're going to do to me. And they put forth all this spousal abuse stuff and this stuff, and he's like, it's not true. He's like, my mother moved me away from my father, and my father was no longer involved in my life as a child. So I bought the house next door to Kim because I wanted to be where my children are. There is not a Kim Kardashian Kanye West problem. It's the news. He's like, the Kardashians' handlers came from nowhere. Nobody knows where they came from. And he's like, they're a government plant. And with all the crazy shit we've heard, let's go back 10 years. Let's go back 20 years even, right? Let's go back Art Bell time. And Art Bell had some people on saying a lot of stuff, and a lot of that shit came to be true. And then Alex Jones, right? Was it wrong? Sure, we can poke some, we can put our finger on something and identify it and say, well, this was wrong. Was it wrong, or did it just not get proven, right? But how much of it was correct? So it's really difficult, because you're like, okay, YouTube will kick me off if I say what I want to say. So you go to these other platforms. We go to these little minuscule, obscure places to have the conversation, and they let it happen because there's not millions of people there listening to it, right? You're not going to plant that seed. You're not going to light that fire. You're not going to have hundreds of people that will show up and be a part of what you're doing. Even things I want to say, I second guess and throttle things that I want to say. I'll get on to say things. We'll make videos and we just won't fucking put them up. I have videos that we've made that we just never put up. I'm like, they're going to knock on the door, kick the door down. And we know they will come in the middle of the night, and fuck, they've executed warrants on the wrong addresses and killed fucking families over it. So I don't know the answer to your question, man.
I would just say everybody likes the attention getting, the thirsty videos, the ones like where people are up there saying something that's shocking. Everybody likes that, so everybody does them. But what's behind that? What other content do they have that proves that they're that? Like James with Pack Your Bags. then you saw all of his stuff, that what he was, you know, everything that he was doing. And so you knew that he probably would have done that if he felt like it needed to happen. But there's people on, you know, they're sitting somewhere in a dark room yelling at the camera, and that's all you see of them. And you don't know.
Who are we talking about?
He's asking, like, who do you trust?
No, who are you? When you just said dark room yelling at the camera, you got somebody in mind?
I just see him on TikTok all the time. Like,
got
nothing specific. Like, I know that that's a look. That's why I said that.
But is it like patriotic?
It's usually like the 4 a.m. thing. Like, everybody, you got to get up at 4 a.m. Well, a lot of those guys go to bed at 8, and a lot of those guys nap during the day, too. They don't tell you about that. They just tell you that they get up at 4 a.m. to work out. One of the guys that I've always... This sounds weird, like, to talk about a guy like this, but I've always admired his work ethic and stuff like that.
It's not weird. Why is that weird?
Well, it's because it's a dude, and I'm specifically talking about his physicality.
Get past that.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yes.
Like, he is in the gym at 2 a.m., and you can see
yes.
that. He's not telling you that he's in the gym. I mean, he does do that, but what you see is you can see him doing that.
So he was making a lot of content.
Yeah.
I don't know if he still is because it's just fallen off my radar. It'll probably be all over YouTube tonight because we mentioned his name. We knew a guy in San Diego that was one of Mark Wahlberg's trainers. Yeah, I mean, he seems cool. I don't know his politics. I've never hung out with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
But I mean, his life seems good.
Yeah, and he's into everything. Like,
but go in there and say some shit that you really believe, if whatever Mark believes, right? Go in there and say some shit that's anti-establishment. You won't be in another fucking movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Your bank will be shut off. Talk about rich Jewish lawyers, right? That's what fucked Kanye West up. And I don't think we've seen the last of this, right? What I'm really going to be curious about, because they kicked him off Twitter, Elon Musk fucking owns Twitter right fucking now, as of 3-4 hours ago. Is Trump going to be on there tonight? Is Alec Jones going to be on there tonight? Is Kanye West going to be back on there? When PayPal started all their bullshit a few weeks ago, I said, somebody asked me about it, and I said, it's have you read it, right? Because I did read some stuff, and you could construe that out of there, but that is not actually what the verbiage said, right? If we're gonna have a conversation, let's be factual about the conversation. I can say some stuff, and some guys can run in the completely wrong direction with it, right? So if I'm going to talk to an audience of people that are going to take what I say to be true and believe that I put the time in to read it, then we should be factual about it. We should speak out of fact, right? Because even whatever it is we want to believe, or whatever picture we want to weave, or whatever way we want people to maneuver, we have to operate out of fact, because the first time we get caught, it questions everything else we did.
Absolutely.
So the PayPal thing, right? The guys asked me about the PayPal thing, and I'm like, no, that's not exactly what it says. It's not going to be the case. Well, come to find out, it was the fucking case, and it really was, you know? I think that Tim Pool's people, I use that kind of as my, I think Shapiro and Tim Pool, right? They're very factual, whether you like what they're saying or not. There's supporting evidence there with it. I think Marfugal News does a good job, man. I think they have the articles. They will talk about this thing and give their opinion, but the article is there for you to look at yourself, right? They have it. It's in there. I think they do a good job with it. I like Black Scout Survival. I've never seen him say anything that I questioned, right? Not that, like, this dude bullshit, right? So I think you have to consume a lot of content to figure out what the truth is. Now, with that said, Evan, I'm constantly going back to this too. What's it taking away from you to know this, right? What's it pushing out of your headspace while you're building radios and you're listening to this shit? And you're educating yourself and you're getting yourself up to the world temperature and the tempo. Would you be better off listening to motivational stuff and business marketing and development shit while you're building your radios or doing whatever it is you're doing, right? What makes you better if we really think the end of the world's coming? And things are going to, all this tyranny is happening. And I do believe that. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to be one of the guys that they're kicking his door in and now we're talking about what they did to Evan Dixon? Or are you better off growing your business, realizing what the fuck's going on, making a lot of money so you can make moves and do things better for yourself and your family and your future generation? which one pays, right? Which one is sustainable, I guess. And I don't know, man. I fight that fight in my head all the time. I don't know what the fucking answer is. So I think we got, I mean, even Rob Bailey said the other day, who's the Prime Minister of the UK? They've got like their 7th one this year now.
I don't know.
Whoever's in charge of I think it's UK or Britain, whatever. Mm-hmm. And this dude, Muslim dude. But he got on there and he said something, and when they were talking about, I think Tim Pool was talking about who this guy is and where he came from, World Economic Forum guy. He's talking about cryptocurrency, but he's talking about like FedCoin, basically, for over there.
The World Bank.
Yeah.
World Bank coin or something. And Rob said, just think about this. They're unbanking all these people from their banks. Imagine if all your stuff was crypto and you're using their currency and they can just turn you off because you didn't take the shot. Mm-hmm. Things are about to get fucking difficult, guys. Especially if you are fucking mediocre and you are not maneuvering within your own circles and making your own rules. If you are not diversified in different directions, being able to produce your food, have your lines of supply, if you're relying on things that, go back to government, things are about to get very fucking difficult. And what it really comes down to, everything's legal for a fee. I heard Tate say this the other day, and he said, why is it that 99% of punishment for any crimes and fines, it's all financial? What that means is if you have money, those fucking laws don't apply to you. It's just like during the lockdowns. The lockdowns only applied for you motherfuckers that were flying on normal planes. If you flew private, the lockdowns didn't apply. It didn't apply fucking anywhere. It's just for you peasants. So you can keep grumbling, and I'm not talking to you, Evan, but we can keep grumbling about the man, or we can make some fucking money, right? So in business, 30 cents of every dollar you make is stolen by the IRS immediately. By the time you, as an individual citizen, spend the dollar that you made, 65% goes to taxes. That's a fucking astronomical number. Try to prove me wrong. Take everything I say and fucking pull it and try to fucking unravel it and prove me fucking wrong. We should be pulling them from the fucking out of their houses and fucking burning them in the street. It's happening all around the world right now. So what you're really asking is, where can we have these conversations? And I would love to have these conversations. I believe they will kill me over it. We've already had this conversation. One day, except it's not going to be a knock on the door. It's going to be, you're going to realize it's going to be flashbangs. Yeah. So I don't know where to have these conversations, man. Aaron Kinder. When it comes to believing in a higher power, what are your beliefs? If you acknowledge evil, if you acknowledge evil in the world, let me just start this one fucking over. I have not read any of these. Aaron Kinder, when it comes to believing in a higher power, what are your beliefs? If you acknowledge evil in the world, do you also recognize there has to be an opposite and opposing force for good? Who does John Willis answer to on this earth and beyond? Same question for Amanda, if she's around when you cover this one. So I guess the real question is, does it matter to you what I believe? Does it matter to me what you believe? I think we can all agree on what's right and wrong. I'm sure we have some deviation on those things, right? You seem to have, in the world, the big one's abortion right now, right? What do you believe is right with that? What do you believe is wrong with that? So if we're all operating under the path of what I believe is correct, whether it's higher power, God, Jesus, four-headed elephant with fucking nose rings, whatever it is, if I'm doing what looks to be right, is it wrong if I don't believe in the religion or the maker that you believe in? And while we can deviate on what we believe is right, does it matter if we're going on different paths as long as it doesn't negatively affect you in a negative manner in any way? do you get a say? Do I get to say what you do on your property or your household if it doesn't affect me in a negative manner? So now, while I realize I didn't answer your question, I don't know. This is 10 fucking hours of content in itself where I'm going to walk around in circles and still not give you an answer. You want to? We went to church a lot. I grew up in church. My father was a preacher. I've seen things happen, right? Lots of things happen that couldn't be explained any other way. But I guess the real question is, does it matter to you what I believe? Because you can see it a lot in Bear's content and viewers, right? Everybody knows what Bear believes. Bear is a Hebrew. I guess that's what you would say, right? He's got Hebrew IFF. He wears tzitzit, right? He wears fucking tassels. And when you know what those are, you fucking see them a mile away. And that's identifies friend or foe. And there's a fucking very specific reason he does it, and he believes it, and he's wholeheartedly fucking lives it every fucking piece. I don't necessarily, I'm not there yet, maybe. But is Bear doing good shit, and do I want to be part of what Bear's doing? And do I believe in what Bear does? Do I believe when he says something that I can fucking take it to the bank? And the answer is absolutely yes. So does it matter that maybe we just aren't on the exact same path? Why do we have to have the question, right? Because you'll have a lot of people that watch Bear, and you'll have people that watch other channels. I say the word fuck. I use it as a noun. I use it as an adjective. I use it as a verb. It's on every fucking piece of product we send out, right? And through the years, we get these dudes that are like, well, you build this without the label. So it's good enough for you to have, but you're not, the problem is my label. No, I won't. Because you can just as easily figure out how to remove it or cut it off, but you're worried about bending me to your will. You're worried about me relying on your dollar enough that I'm going to do something against what I believe in. I believe it. That's why we fucking put it on there. So does it matter? And people will pressure Bear. Oh, this guy says fuck all the time, man. He's a foul mouth. He's just such a heathen. And then you see it on the homestead channels. Like, there's these homestead channels, and a lot of them are very wholesome. But when you meet them in life, they're just like us. They talk the same, they move the same, we operate, and we maneuver in the same circles, but they throttle their shit back for their audience. Authenticity. Would you rather know exactly what the fuck I'm all about and what I believe? Or would you rather pretend to be something I'm not? So do we ask the question because you have a problem if I don't, or because you have a problem if I do, or because it brings us closer together? You want to add anything here?
No.
I think it's more of a question of, do you have something that keeps you going? Not you guys specifically, but, you know, there a lot of people who are in AA or want to be in AA say, oh, I won't do it because it's religious. Well, if you really look into that, it's not about being religious. It's about having...
Does it make you a better person? Does it make you a better person for your family, for your future, for your children?
I think he's talking about like a belief system.
Yeah, you have to
structure.
Have that's what I meant to say. You have to have something that you believe in and that's taking you where you want to go, unless you're not going to go anywhere. And it doesn't really matter. I mean, there are a few religions out there that I would want to kind of stay away from, because in the religion it says shit that I disagree with. Right. But most of them are all based on the same thing, and it's be good.
Right, right. Know? Do good.
So governments need religion because it's a framework of rules that keep civilization civilized. And what it really does is it keeps them running around in circles and following this framework. Don't pull our leaders out of the castle and eat them, because it goes against your Bible, your religion, whatever it is. And if you really read the Bible, and which part of the Bible do we read? Yeah. Do we read the second half, or do we operate off of the first half? Because there's a lot of fucking warring and killing in the first half. People always want to say, they want to quote the Bible, but that's not really what the Bible says. The Bible does not say thou shalt not kill. The Bible says thou shalt not murder. There's a difference in the two. Which one are you comfortable with? Because they use it all the time, but they want to quote it to control you.
Yes.
They don't want to quote it to give you freedom. And we see it, I see it a lot when I do live videos and collaborations with people, and they're just in there constantly. I'm like, look, you have commented 400 times things out of the Bible. Awesome. Now add some value here. Quote, be involved in the conversation. Because it does nothing for any of people present for you to just continue to keep giving Bible verses. Fucking type some shit out that's an actual thought. I have a hard time memorizing things. I couldn't quote the Bible. Yeah. I can't quote fucking half the shit I wrote. Like, if I'm going to do music, I'm going to have to fucking look at it like a goddamn karaoke, right? Oh shit, John said goddamn. Oop, he can't be in the Bible club now.
See, that stuff, that pisses me off the most because, like, they censor themselves, but they don't change what they're saying.
No.
Right.
So, like, they'll say F
They say it more eloquently.
Yeah,
they say it in words that they think you can't understand.
Or they just think are more appropriate, but you're still exchanging that idea.
Yeah, it drives me nuts when guys get on and they fucking type out fuck, but they change one of the letters.
Yes, like why? We know what you're saying, just
Right.
say it.
You're a grown fucking man, right? If you don't want to say it, don't fucking say it. But if you're going to pretend to say it, fucking say it.
Exactly.
There's a difference between me and you, and we are not built the fucking same. I don't know where you're maneuvering and operating, but it is not the fucking world that I'm walking in. There are people that will fucking harm you and kill you every fucking day. And it's simply your sheer fucking luck. It's not a higher power that's kept you alive. It's certainly not your fucking ability.
I don't even understand what they're going for.
No, I don't think they do either, man. Yeah. I just don't get it. So that's a conversation for another time when we have a lot of time. I can lay some things out and some testimony, I suppose. Did we answer all those? Am I on Andreas now?
Yep.
Is it Andrea, or Andrea? This is a rabbit question. One of my does always makes a racket and fuss when I have her go visit the buck. I have bred the other two does, no problem, but I cannot for the life of me figure out what her deal is.
She's gay. She's
a boy. You might want to look there. There's some things to the side of that center thing. Those are testicles. So I have this question myself because we were just breeding. I just bred all of my does. I've got 4 males right now that I'm rotating through, and I bred all of my does. And I put them in multiple times, and sometimes you drop a female right in. So I question, are does in heat all at the same time? If you put a lot of women in a household, their menstrual cycles will all become the same. So is that the same with rabbits? Or do rabbits have to do with temperature or season? I'm sure the information is easily available. I just don't know what it is. So a couple weeks ago, I started putting 4 does into 4 bucks cages, and I've been doing it every day, and I did it again yesterday and today. So sometimes you'll see that male mount up, and it's what's called falling off, and they'll hump like rabbits, they fuck like bunnies, and then he sneezes or coughs and literally falls to the side. And some are very theatrical about it. You're like, holy shit, that rabbit just died.
What a way to go.
And other times they mount, and you'll see her lift, right? Sometimes you'll put a female in there, and they run in circles. They chase each other in circles, and she'll get in the box. You got to take the box out of there, the nest box. I have nest boxes even in my boys' cages. They really like to sit on top of them. And then all of a sudden, he'll just grab some bucks. I have a buck, my best one. He'll grab her by the back of the neck and literally pull hair out and try to get her to lift up. He'll grab her by the ass and lift her up. He'll thump and bang the cage. And if you haven't heard it, when you hear it, you'll know exactly what it is. And when you see him fall off, you'll know exactly what happened. But they say let him mount 3 times. I haven't seen a 3 mount at all this year. I put her in the cage, he'll mount, sometimes he falls off, sometimes he does it again. They say leave him in there 20 minutes. I typically go in there, and I'm in there for 10, 15 minutes while I'm doing the rabbit area, and I've got those females in the cages. Every now and then, though, you do get a female that will just not do that. Now, I've also had females that I'm like, he didn't get her, and she's not pregnant, and I never saw her lift, and he never fell off, and all of a sudden, you're like, this rabbit's I think I'm going to dispatch this rabbit or do whatever. And all of a sudden you see hair being pulled and you put a box in there and then she shits out a litter of kittens, you know? So if we're really concerned about it, go get you, and you probably should get some rabbits somewhere else anyways. I don't know where all your rabbits came from, but find somebody else breeding rabbits and bring in another female, find some really good lines, and get rid of that rabbit. Why are we breeding rabbits right now, Andrea? Do you have the plan to eat them? Well, whack that little bitch on the back of the head with a steel pipe and sock her skin off and eat that bitch tonight. Try that. And bring in a different female. She might, sometimes, I mean, you just have females that are just not good females. You all have males that just aren't good males. I've got a male right now that I've had for a long, long time. I thought I had 2 girls, and I had them in cages together. Come to find out they're both boys for years. They're super old, but they're black and white. All the black and white rabbits up on top of the hill right now all came from that rabbit. And he's old. I need to get rid of him, but I'm just letting him mate a few more times before I dispatch him.
Let him get it all out of his system.
Yeah, he's been he earned it. So he's also old, right? So is the sperm viable? Are the litters going to be as big? Those are all real questions. But right now it doesn't matter because we're not depending on this. We don't have to walk out into our yard and bring dinner into the kitchen.
Thank God.
But at some point, that could be the case, right? Mm-hmm. So this is all practice for reality. So, maybe bring in another couple does, right? Go someplace, go to another breeder, find a breeder. Craigslist, if you search rabbits, you'll find them sometimes on the normal marketplace on Craigslist. But on the left side, there's a thing called communities. And it's where all the prostitutes used to be, Amanda tells me anyways. So in communities, there's a section called pets. And when you go in there, there's pets in there listed. And they'll have rehoming fee or whatever. That's code for it's for sale, but Craigslist will try to remove the ad. And it's not Craigslist. It's little bitches in there. They're literally troll those places to try to fuck your ad up. It's the animal protest people and shit. So also try Marketplace. And if you on Marketplace put in rabbits, it's almost impossible to put animals in Marketplace now on Facebook. But there's groups. Like we have West Tennessee Farm and Garden, West Tennessee Farm and Equipment, West Tennessee Small Animal and Farm. There's 5 or 6 of them. And they move. There's also Backyard Meat Rabbits is a good one. If you're in Backyard Meat Rabbits, just be like, I'm in Ohio in this area. Anybody have rabbit? 50 dudes will have rabbits or women or whatever. And just, you get what you pay for. I like to say from breeding bearded dragons. Brian May, my friend Brian May, he was on Doomsday Prepper. They made him look crazy. He's not crazy. But he breeds bearded dragons, and that was a source of income for him. He has a stereo install shop. He's in Arizona. They grew a lot of duckweed in their aquaponics system. Macy's his wife. And he did bearded dragons, and he had these bearded dragons that were just fucking snow white. When they first kind of appeared through breeding and stuff, they came out with these white dragons, and he bought his first stock for $5,000. And I'm like, holy shit. We were doing high orange content like creamsicles and different bearded dragons. And Brian said something that has stayed with me to this day. And he said, look, it costs the same amount to feed these dragons, and it costs the same amount of labor to take care of them every day. But when I'm breeding $5,000 bearded dragons, I'm making $2,000 baby bearded dragons. And when you're breeding $500 bearded dragons, you're making $100 baby bearded dragons. So the inputs are all the same, have better stock. And I think that's the case with rabbits too. I've got a friend, customer and friend, who I don't know how in the fuck he even got into rabbits, but he has some of the most beautiful rabbits. He goes all around the United States breeding rabbits. And he does these Rexes. They're amazing. And he gets certified, like he tattoos his rabbit's ears. And he literally goes around, he flies on airplanes with these fucking rabbits and goes to these rabbit shows. And his stock, he's in a building probably this big. He's got all KW cages. If you don't know what KW is, it's some of the nicest rack caging system. They have this trough that goes under. So your rabbit's piss and shit, and it falls down into this trough, and that's at angle, and you can open water on one end, and it flushes it. You can put it into a septic. You can put it into a tank outside. You can put it into a sewer system. Climate controlled, just beautiful animals. But he goes all around the world, and he has only good stock. So I think that's part of it, right? Well, meat rabbits are meat rabbits. Maybe I do have rabbits up there that when you pick them up, you're like, this rabbit is fucking enormous. What in the world has this rabbit been eating? Well, I know what they're eating. I feed them the same shit, so it has to be genetics. So if you're even questioning it, like, how long has it been? And until you expose her to a male, it's 30 days. And it's literally, for people that don't know, when you breed rabbits, 30 days, almost to the calendar, definitely to the day, almost to the hour, you will see her start pulling hair. Pay attention to that, because if you don't pay attention to that, you're going to come out and there's going to be blood and dead babies all over the place. So nest box, have a nest box in there. You can't always leave a nest box because some of your rabbits will eat the nest box if it's wood. Some of it use it as a litter box. It's very easy to train rabbits, to litter box train rabbits. We know a lady, friend of ours' mother, has a rabbit named Crockpot. It was 14 years old last I heard. It's got to be 17 years old now. And it's like a circus rabbit. It does tricks. It fucking fetches. It throws itself on the ground and rolls in circles and lives in her house, and it's litter box trained. So just hit that bitch with a pipe, Andrea.
Yeah, man, I'm talking about realest, one of the realest to try. My family, SOE, got the tools to survive. Yeah, I don't